Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I have folks on here joining from all over the world. I am so excited to have you on this broadcast and to have all of you here. Um, it is going to be a really great webinar. I am super excited because I'm jazzed about sharing our new QPPS with you, our Qualified Partner Package solution for the public cloud. It is really a great solution. It is fast, it is powerful, and it will be affordable. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about our package solution. So we're looking forward to that. As always, we're going to do a welcome. I'll introduce the team in a few minutes, talk about why we're doing it, talk a bit about the subscription billing and this QPPS. Reminder from a housekeeping perspective, the session is being recorded. So those of you who are on here, customers, SAP, feel free, anybody, to share it. We will have it out on the website for a couple of weeks where you can link to it and share that information, and then it'll be out on YouTube. Feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. If you have anything that you want to know, you want to validate, you want to look at, please feel free to do that. We will be having a live demo of this system, so we're excited to do that. Again, feel free to ask any questions with regard to the solution or any question. Check out our other webinars. We have 200 plus webinars out there for you to check out on a variety of content, including our focus on quote to cash, to compliance, as well as S/4HANA and best practices around things like data migration, and digital debt. So check all of that out. And we encourage you to do that or reach out to us. And speaking of reaching out to us, you can do that a variety of ways, certainly through bramasol.com. You go to our website, we have a ton of new content up there. We have a really exciting new way that we're going to talk about the solutions in the order to cash, quote to cash space. So we're excited about that. Check the new pages out that'll be coming out very shortly, and all the other great content. You can link to us on Facebook. Join the conversations with my friend Patrick Maroney and others at SAP about the digital economy, about technology, about all of that. You can join us on there or check out our YouTube channel and iHeartRadio. So we're going to talk about something called the Bramasol package solution. And what I would like to do is, let me go back a second, everybody. I apologize. We seem to have skipped a slide. So as part of the introductions, I'd like to introduce the team here and give you a little bit of familiarity. I'm John Froelich, Senior Vice President at Bramasol, and I host the webinars. Online, we have my favorite demo person in the whole wide world, Sarah Thompson. Sarah is going to be showing you what this thing actually looks like. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, John.
Will Pence. Will has done an amazing job working with Navneet on here and our team and with the SAP team in developing this QPPS that's been in process for over 3.5 months, working very closely with the SAP development teams, marketing, the IBUs, and others. Welcome, Will.
All right, thank you, John.
Will, by the way, brings a ton of experience. Will is one of the early cloud folks. Bramasol has been an early SAP public cloud person with By Design, and Will has run a few projects and is an expert in helping companies figure out how to do that. And on my team also is Navneet Ball. He is our BRIM architect, has many years of experience in the SAP BRIM products, whether they are the on-prem, private cloud, or his deep expertise in the subscription models. And he has been just instrumental in helping build this QPPS and the working model that we're going to see in a little bit. Welcome, Navneet.
Thank you, John. Excited to be here today.
Yeah, and when we talk about being all over the place, we are coming to you from the US, Canada, and South Africa. So we're excited to share all of this with you. So I'm going to dive in to the QPPS itself. So we have a QPPS. It's called the Qualified Partner Package Solution. It is something that I have been excited to be developing for a while. Again, we've been partnering with SAP on it. We believe that it's going to change the way we will go to market with a lot of companies on here in the mid-market and companies looking at extending their landscapes, and it's a package solution. Maybe, Will, what do we mean by a package solution and what exactly is in here?
Yeah, so our package solution, our package solution encompasses pretty much everything you need to get up and running in a quick, timely manner for those companies looking to move to a cloud-based ERP that not only delivers the latest industry best practices and continuous innovation, but also provides flexible subscription lifestyle management software with SAP subscription billing, and all of this with seamless revenue compliance. So, we're seeing a lot of companies move to the digital solutions economy. They're no longer selling just one-time products and services, and then you never hear from the customer again, right? You have companies that are now creating these subscription plans, and they deliver goods and services over a course of the time frame, which not only keeps a loyal customer base, but it also helps create predictable and stable income streams by billing at regular intervals. So our package, consists of the baseline of the S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition system, and again, everything you need to have to get the company up and running would be activated, right? Anything from invoice to cash, record to report, order to fulfill, and more. And then, of course, we have the subscription management with sales billing, where again, that's the primary system that's going to help manage your subscription management lifecycle, and also solution order management. So not only can you create subscriptions from the subscription billing system, you can also create it from the S/4HANA public system itself through the solution order management. So there's two different entry points there. Okay. And then, of course, it's all wrapped up with the event-based revenue recognition. And then we're also working with our own subscription revenue reports that we're creating.
Right. Yeah. And we built this solution with a real focus on a particular market in the beginning to get it up and running. And of course, one thing I want to mention, what we built here is not a pie in the sky. It's actually something that we have implemented together with one of our key partners at a customer in Canada, part of the TELUS organization. They're called TAC. They are the TELUS Agriculture and Consumer Goods Company. They demoed this, or not demoed it, but talked about this solution at Sapphire, and I know that's recorded, so go check that out. This is not something we just made up. This is an actual solution that's out in the market working. We've just taken it to the next level, and we're focusing on it from an industry perspective initially, really designed at and focused on software. But we could, the one thing that you and the team did, Will, was made this pretty adaptable, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. So even though we're currently offering it to high-tech software, it's easily adaptable to other industries as well.
Right. And again, we are focusing in the US initially, geography-wise, but that doesn't mean that we can't, talk to you if you have a customer who's out there and wants to do extended geographies. Again, it's not part of the baseline package, but we can extend that. And what we want to do is it's for net new customers, right? So customers who are really looking to take advantage of moving off an old Infor system, an old another kind of a system. It could even be QuickBooks or something like that, onto an SAP landscape, and they have a fairly straightforward subscription business. Although we'll talk in a minute about, doesn't have a straightforward solution doesn't mean that it's a simple solution, or doesn't mean you don't get a lot of features, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And the real key to this is the implementation. Out of the box with the standard best practices in SAP, using public cloud, subscription billing, leveraging the business technology platform, and with our additional reports, we can get this thing up and running in approximately 3 months. That is from the start of the project. Of course, you have to provision it, but from the start of the project. That's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it, Will.
Yeah, same here. I think this is going to be a great product for those companies that are, just maybe new to the subscription-based business, or even just need to get onto a powerful, robust ERP, such as the S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition system.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's give everybody a sense of, what is the how is this thing laid out, and what's the architecture of this solution? So maybe you can take us a little bit through, how is this working and how does it lay out?
Sure, I'd be glad to do that. So again, we have the three basic systems, right? The baseline of the S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition system, and then along with the business technology platform, and then subscription billing. So all are integrated within each other. Again, you can start subscriptions from either the subscription billing system or from the solution order management system on the public cloud system. And here, all of your subscription billing is set up as far as your pricing schemes, your ratings, your different subscription scenarios are all set up in the subscription billing system. And you create provider contracts that come from the subscription created in subscription billing. Those are created, the provider contracts are then automatically created in S/4HANA Public Cloud system. And then any billing transactions that you create from the subscriptions are also integrated and flow to the public cloud system. So, and also as well as your master data. So in our case, customers are created in the public cloud system, and then master data wise, those flow back, and it's not shown on this graph right now, but master data is created on the public cloud system for customers that flows to the subscription billing system. That way you have a one-stop or one place where you only update customer master, right? You don't want to have different data in two different systems. And that's also instrumental for the billing transactions as well, because you want that same business partner ID in both systems. So yeah, billing goes, and then again, it all ends up as event-based revenue recognition to see how that revenue is flowing for the subscription at any point in time during the time frame of during the life cycle of that subscription. So yeah, that's all the packages needs are these three systems, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and one of the misperceptions, I think, and Sarah, I'm going to ask in a moment, ask you a little bit about EBRR, but Navneet, I think when customers or when people think about these kinds of package solutions, the perception is that you're getting kind of very minimal capabilities, that it's a very narrow solution. But the reality is SAP subscription billing is actually an extremely powerful tool that combines a number of different items we know from the old order to cash or BRIM portfolio, as well as offering a lot of flexibility in the kinds of or types of business or subscription models. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
That's right, John. You hit the nail on the head. So subscription billing, it is a very powerful and flexible system. It provides really flexible pricing mechanisms. You can do various type of different charges, recurring, real-time rating, one-time charges. You can come up with very complex pricing tools and model in the system. Apart from that, it provides an end-to-end subscription management functions. So you can manage the whole life cycle of the subscriber using the tool. You can do freemiums, you can do try and buy kind of offers, and it also supports real-time changes done by the user or by the customer. Apart from that, it helps in enabling very personalized customer engagement. You can do bundling specific for customers. You can have different kind of offers and promotions model for the customers, and you can Also, everything, all the transactions, it being a SAP software, is easily trackable and auditable. So which leads to a very great experience for the end customer.
Right. And that also makes it, Navneet, extremely auditable as well, right? Because I don't have manual processes I'm doing. I don't have external interfaces. This is all an integrated solution. It's all SAP, right?
That's right. It's all SAP, and the key thing is that the development team behind it is the same team which developed the on-premise BRIM convergent charging solution. So they've taken the best parts of the SOM and the convergent charging modules and built it into this system.
Yep, and we've been working very closely, and I'll throw my friend David Eastland and his team and a pitch out there. They've done a great job of continuing to develop functionality in this product, and we've worked very closely with them, right?
That's right. So you get new product updates like on a regular basis, as fast as in every month you get regular updates, and it's really been exciting to see this product evolve over the last couple of years, and it has gone from strength to strength by adding more and more features. Apart from that, it is very easy to integrate. It seamlessly integrates with the HANA public cloud or the other systems. Like, if you want to support payments, it integrates very well with the digital payments. And also, when it comes to revenue recognition, it provides all the upstream data, which is then, which can be sent down to the EBRR or CBRR modules.
Yeah. And one thing, and I'm going to ask you, Will, when we look at the public cloud edition, again, we talk about baseline, but baseline's a pretty powerful solution. And, there's a lot in there. You mentioned the fact that it gives you the baseline, all of the GL, the accounting, everything you need to run a business, a world-class business on this public cloud. In fact, we just closed a deal for a solution kind of like this in a larger scale, with a company that does over $1 billion of revenue every year and has subscriptions in many different ways. But you can, I heard Navneet throw out that favorite word that RevRec people like, which is a bundle. You can do a bundle in this solution, which includes a product, a service, and the subscription, right?
Yes. Exactly. Yep. You can use that in whether you want to start that in the solution order management or a subscription. You can do that, but yeah, it's very robust, and not only can you do different bundles, but also if you want to enable other scoping items or activate other processes other than the baseline that fit your company, you can do that as well.
Right. Right, and you can grow the base solution. You can start with the base solution and grow from there. Sarah, I threatened to reach out to you about EBRR, event-based revenue recognition. Pretty powerful system that does real-time revenue recognition, right?
Correct, yeah. So working with the cloud solution, event-based revenue recognition actually doesn't create separate contracts anymore. It actually uses the contract from, in this case, the provider contract from the subscription to be able to see the different line items, and it posts directly into the GL. So we'll be able to see that when we go through later, but there is no subledger in the system anymore. It just lives within the finance space.
Ah, that is awesome. And there's a question online here. Do we need SAP CPI in between? So the integration of, thank you for that question, Makarand. Either maybe, Navneet, I'll throw it out to you. To integrate subscription billing in S4HANA, we use
Yes, that's right, John. Yeah, we use the platform integration suite. Yes, that's right. There are different ways. There are different kind of data from subscription billing which needs to be sent to S4HANA Cloud. So depending upon your customer requirements, if you just want to create the subscribers and manage only the master data, so you don't need the CPI suite. You can do with the master data integration. But if you want to send all the billing data from subscription billing to the S4HANA Cloud, then you will need the CPI.
Okay, but it's a very, you guys just did it. You've done it a few times, right? So,
that's right.
The reality is it's a pretty straightforward process to go ahead and do. And by the way, many parts of CPI, depending on which S4HANA public cloud version you choose, some of them are integrated. We have the separate solution in part because it adds a lot more robustness, but you do need that. So, right?
That's right. That's right. So it all depends on on your specific requirement, and also to add, the integration suite is a very easy tool to configure. It's all configuration. So there's no code or anything needs to be written. It's all configuration driven, and SAP as usual provides very helpful documentation for that. And obviously, you can always reach out to us if you need any help in this particular module.
Now, we've done it a few times, and we're going to see how it works in a couple of minutes, because I'm sure that's what everybody is anxious to see. So thanks. So, what we've seen here is we have a very robust solution that will get you set up and running in 3 months or so. And we have a great, take a look at, this is an early version, but take a look. We will be sending this out, or you can go on our website and get a new version of this. This is going to be our one-pager handout for everybody. And if you're on from SAP, reach out to us. We'll be glad to share this one-pager that you can share with your customers or anybody on here who wants to kind of get a look at what we're doing. Again, I want to hit on the fact that there's a lot of different scenarios that we're supporting from a baseline subscription. You can do tiered pricing, usage pricing, lots of cloud setup. A lot of this is all set up, and because it's cloud, it's pre-configured, not pre-configured, but pre-set up from a process perspective. It's scalable. As I said, companies over $1 billion are using this kind of a setup to run their business. And it has everything from what we talk about, quote to cash to compliance, everything you need to run a subscription business in a full auditable way as a business. And as I said, reach out, check us out. This is our previous version, but go ahead and take a look at, we'll have a new version up on the website very shortly. So another quick question. So there's a question on here about, does subscription billing support usage-based billing cases, Navneet?
That's right, it does. And not just offline, but even real time, you can do the rating in subscription billing.
So, limitations, I think, is a very interesting question. Why don't we, if you want to follow up on that, feel free. So there was a question about limitations. What I would suggest is, limitations is a broad question. Are there any limitations? Volume, we always approach this from a volume, velocity, complexity, and density. There are limitations in terms of throughput and items like that. But again, this solution is extremely robust. The SAP team has done a great job of really stress testing it, smoke testing it, and doing some others. So, if you want, we can follow up and ask that question more specific, or answer that with more specifics. With that, I think I'm going to get to the part that everybody actually wants to hear about. So you're not going to hear from me, I'm sure. What we're going to do is turn it over to the experts and do a demo. So Navneet, why don't you walk us through the scenario that you and the team have designed, and then we'll have Sarah take over and launch in and show you guys a live demo of this system in our system.
That's right. Thank you, John. So for today, demo purpose, we picked a common subscription offering which is being offered by a lot of printing companies, that they are no longer following the traditional model of just sell the printer and sell the ink separately. Nowadays, everybody's moving into the SaaS model, or a service as a service model. So what we have modeled is it's a printing company which sells printers, and it sells a subscription plan. So you don't need to purchase ink cartridges. What you need to do is you can choose one of the different plans available. So for example, if you choose the moderate plan, you'll be charged $5.99 every month, and you'll get 100 pages included in that. If you exceed those 100 pages, then any additional page will be charged at 20 cents. And these 100 pages, it rolls over. So let's say if you used only 80 or 90 pages, those 10 pages gets rolled over. So similarly, you have 3 different plans. So the customer, when he's onboarding after buying the printer, he chooses one of these plans, and then it gets activated by him.
Yeah, and this is a pretty straightforward scenario that you could apply to many different things, whether it was we picked a printer scenario, but you could use a life sciences scenario where you're buying a basic instrument and then you're buying consumables or reagents on top of that. The same would be true of, a lot of different of these kinds of models. So we just thought this would be a really great one. It's quite simple. So thank you, Stephanie. So Sarah, are you there?
I am. I'm ready to take over.
All right, well, let me click the famous right button and make you the presenter. You should be now presenter.
Yeah, 1 second. There we go. Alrighty. So what we're going to take a look at today is the simple process of creating our subscription and what that looks like from a revenue accounting standpoint. So how can we recognize the revenue for our subscription? So we first come in, this is going to be S/4HANA Cloud. So we have direct integration, direct access to the subscription management. We have access into SAP S/4HANA, as well as event-based revenue recognition. So these are all the different core capabilities, and it's all from one screen, one launchpad, one master data. So we come in, we can start by creating our subscription. So within our subscriptions, we can manage other subscriptions that have already been created out there, or we can create a new one from scratch. It's as simple as entering in customer information. You'll have different products out there. So we're working with a product line of printer as a service. So that actually encompasses all of the areas that Navneet just mentioned within the printer. So the subscription service, the activation fees, as well as the overall usage. So we come in, we can check our dates. We're looking at a 12-month contract, so from the beginning of August until August of next year, and then our printer as a service model. So when we come in, we are going to do one printer, and we are actually going to choose our rate plan. So we're going to bill our customer up front for the full year of the printer for the service. So we can see our activation fee here as well as our recurring charge. We don't have any usage charges yet, but we are working on a consumption fee for usage as well. Now we can set up our own technical ID. So we can come in and find our usage and create our usage bills as well. This automatically creates a usage ID, but it's just a little bit easier to go based off of the ones that I have applied. Once we set up our item and we have everything ready to go, we're able to create our new subscription. Now, when we create our subscription, we'll notice that our subscription order SB94 has been created. We can come in and take a look at our billing forecast. Let's quickly take a look at it from a table standpoint. This is going to tell us upfront, without the usage charges, this is what we are billing our customer. We've got our one-time activation fee of $10 due at the beginning of the month, as well as our annual bill for the entire contract, which is a recurring charge for that $119 for the rest of the contract as well. Now, if we come into our allowances, this is where we can start to see our usage. So we have allowed 200 pages printed per month to be included in the package. So if the customer goes over 200 pages, that is where they are paying for that difference for those additional costs consumed over their allotted amount. We've also got our provider contract. So this is the part that ties the subscription order into the revenue accounting. So we've got our provider contract where we can see all three of our different line items for usage, one-time activation, and the recurring charge. These are all going to be their own billing plans, because we have an annual bill, we've got a one-time fee, and then we have a usage fee that we are also going to be taking a look at. Now we've created everything here for our subscription order. Normally what would happen is you'll have your billings run, you'll have usage come in at the end of the month. As we are nearing the end of the month, I'm actually going to go ahead and record usage for our contract. So we come in, we don't have any usage created yet, so go ahead and create one for our new technical ID. So that's where it comes in easy to be able to just kind of pull in a technical ID that we already know we have. Going from, let's say, the beginning of the month. Let's just do today. Let's say the customer did 299 pages. So they did 99 extra. So we'll have to take a look at what that does and what that looks like from a usage standpoint with our revenue. So we created our usage. We've got 299 pages here. And now we can take a look at what that actually looks like from a billing standpoint. So we've entered in our usage directly within SAP, and now we can come in and manage those subscription bills. So we will be looking at SB 94, and now we have two amounts here. So we've got our two amounts. Go ahead and close these really quick. Transfer them over. The first one is going to be for our usage. So we've got our printer as a service 1980. As we come in and take a look at all of the information here, this is going to dive into our full consumption. So we have our usage rate. Our allowance was 200 pages that was included in the amount. And then we have a charge for 99. So that charged amount is going to come out to the $19.80 in USD. And so this is going to show you your full breakdown. So what was charged, what was included, and then what was actually consumed for the month. So you have that full amount. You'll have flags here if they were billed in advance or prorated, which we don't have anything for our usage here. But if we come back and take a look at our other amounts, this has lumped together for $129.88. This lumped together are two original charges. So we had our activation fee due at the beginning of the month and our frequent recurring charge. So if we drill into each one of these individually, this is going to be the breakdown. We can see here for our recurring fee, we are seeing a bill in advance as well as a prorate first cycle. And then for our one-time activation fee, it is just a one-time charge. So that is just going to be in a point of time. Navneet, did you want to add any comments here on the billing plans or the usage rate before we jump in and take a look at it?
I think one only additional thing, Sarah, is that if you go back to the usage plan and click on the price elements, the consumption fee, it also gives you okay, yeah, if you click on the yes, if you click on the consumption fee, so it gives you the actual rate which applied. You see that applied 20 cents off. So as I was mentioning earlier, it's very easily auditable, and all the data which is amounts are trackable. So it's very easy to explain to the customer or to follow where all what charges were applied and which get consolidated into the final bill.
Exactly, perfect.
And Sarah, it's you're doing this manually so everybody can see it, but there are also, you could have this information fed in. If you had an IoT scenario, you could feed it in manually. As you said, there's options, right?
Correct, yeah. I'm showcasing everything for you to be able to kind of see the full process, but your end users are not going to be coming in and entering in, 200 pages used, or that data will be fed in from somewhere, and then this is how the SAP system will process it. Correct.
Yes, that's right. And just to add to that, Sarah, so the subscription billing also integrates, but has out-of-the-box integration with tools like the convergent mediation for cloud, which will be the tool of choice which SAP recommends that they will extract all the data like in the IoT scenario. So they can go to the network elements, extract the data, and send it to subscription billing. Needless to say, you can also do it via other tools which can feed in the data into subscription billing. The app which you used user data, we just use it for the demo purpose, and it is more of a testing mechanism. But it like in the real life, we will be having different tools which feed in all this usage data, consumption data into the subscription billing platform.
Correct. Yep. All right, so let's go back and take a look at our bills. I think if I refresh, everything is good for our transfer. Transfer has been complete. So we can go ahead and actually create the billing documents. Again, this would be a batch process that would just come in, create bills as they're available. So we've got our 2 here that we have created. But what's great about coming in and looking at this manually is you actually get to see what those invoices look like to your customer. So we can come in, manage the billing invoice. This gives us a temporary billing doc, shows us what it looks like. These are the fees that are going to be on the customer's bill. So you can see the invoice for $299, but again, we were only charged for the $99. And then as we scroll down, we can see the subscription billing document requests that tie to each of these amounts, as well as the invoice. Once we save our invoice here, we now created our accounting document. So this has already created the journal entry postings. I can also come in directly because we're within SAP. I can come in and directly see, for the audience view, it says.
Yeah, I can see it. It's cool.
Okay, perfect. I can actually see the invoice preview. So you can see again what the customer sees here as their available preview. All right, so this is where we kind of transition into event-based revenue recognition. So we have our subscription order. We went through it pretty quickly. Normally it would take, you start a subscription, by the end of the month you pay, however those invoices happen. So we went through a whole month of subscription and usage in just a couple of minutes. But now we're going to jump into event-based revenue recognition. So within this tool, we're actually searching by the contract that we created. So we're able to see the provider contract in event-based revenue recognition. There is no separate contract. There is no breakdown of allocated revenue or standalone selling price. This is just showcasing directly into event-based revenue recognition. So if we start, the first one we'll see is our usage charge. So we billed 1980 and we were able to recognize 1980 directly within that same month. This is going to give us a breakdown in event-based revenue recognition of the income statement charges, the balance sheet amounts, as well as kind of a graphical view of what that looks like. So because this was used and billed within the same month, we are only going to have billed revenue and recognized revenue. We don't have any contract assets for this particular line item. Same with our activation fee. This was an upfront one-time charge of $10. So we billed the $10 and we recognized it. Now we do have recurring revenue. So what this did is it actually billed and had a deferred amount out there for $119. So what does need to take place for us to be able to recognize revenue for this 1 month is we do need to run the revenue recognition for the month. When that happens, it is going to carve out the receivable adjustment and deferred revenue and give us a recognized value. So we'll go through and show you, again, a manual process of how that works, but this is an automated batch job run. So you can set this up to run as frequently as you need to, or you could run it by contract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just run it across my contract. Check that everything is entered, and then when we schedule it, you can go ahead and see here, we can preview the results. So this is just going to show you everything within the contract ran correctly. So we've got our 3 line items. They've all ran correctly for revenue recognition. There's no errors that follow. You can always come in and check the log. You can see the requests to post to the GL. And then when we go back to our event-based revenue recognition, that is where we can actually see the update for our recurring revenue. So this automatically is making the postings. It's automatically showcasing the receivable adjustment and recognized revenue. It does the calculations for you and posts 1 month of that 12-month contract. So you can see we've got recognized revenue as well as our margin. But it doesn't just stop there. So we have all of our subscription information. We've got our revenue recognition information, but we want to bring that into additional reporting capabilities. Because everything resides within the S/4HANA cloud space, we can actually run different reports that showcase the values that we just saw from a subscription perspective as well as revenue. So this is going to bring in our provider contract and the products that we sold, so we can see the different provider contracts that we've had out there. We're focusing on SB94 for this one. We can see it's a printer as a service contract. And then it starts to showcase us all the different breakdowns for revenue. So we've got our billed revenue out there. We didn't attach any cost to this particular contract, but if you had cost attached with revenue, you'd be able to see that on our report as well. We can see we've got our actual recognized value, so $39.98. That is going to encompass just the 1 month of recurring plus usage plus our $10 activation fee. That's the same with our recognized margin. And then our revenue adjustment. That revenue adjustment is adjusting for that recurring entry. So when you have your billed amount and your deferred revenue, you're adjusting that every time you are able to recognize a certain value per month. So that gives us our revenue adjustment, and then our deferred revenue as well. And then we can showcase all the way down into margin percentage. So this report is just one example of the possibilities that you have going from a subscription order into event-based revenue recognition and being able to actually see those values. But again, there are so many more capabilities that the tool has or the tool can do. This is just one example of that. So John, I will turn it back over to you and the team if we want to
Hang on, let's stay
demo.
with what I think is also really great here, Sarah. Let's hang on for 1 second on this page, because for me, this is a huge differentiator in many ways, right? It's a different look and feel than people are used to. Everything here, I think, it's so important to understand. Everything here is at your fingertips. You have the options of how you want to move them around. Whether it's your favorite apps most used, it does a lot of great tools and great activity like that. You can see those there. But
Yep.
you also get, if you scroll down, Sarah, information, right? So if we think of every day, if you're the revenue manager or you're the subscription manager, you can update these tiles and add them to your screen, and it allows you to have hands-on focus. One of our customers recently asked us about, well, how am I going to improve my day and how am I going to improve operations when I do things? Will I get lists? Will I get information? And you can look at all of these. You see how profit margin is rising month over month. You can also order, take a look at, if you're a product manager on the far left and you want to understand how you can see your different solution orders by product area. Oh, look, I've got cloud storage. I've got all these different tools, and it gives you all of that information. And of course, Sarah, if you were to click on any one of those, you have full drill down capability way back into any of these orders, right?
Correct. Yep. This will take us back into total receivables.
Yeah, and that's so important as you think of what you want to do as a business. You want to understand how your subscriptions are being executed, what you're doing. And because we've brought together, with the power of SAP, an integrated solution, you have end-to-end visibility, whether it's in the quote to cash or the compliance space, and you can begin to tie those numbers together to help you really have an understanding of your business. And it's a super powerful platform to grow your business. So thank you, Sarah. I think that was just terrific. Thank you, Will and Navneet. I hope everybody in the audience, I am just jazzed by what you guys have shown here. This is an awesome solution that you've developed. Thank you.
Yep.
So with that, I'm sorry, you guys are, we'll come back to, I will make myself presenter. We're gonna wrap this up. Show my screen. Main screen, which screen can you see? All right, that's not the one we
Big
want.
so what? Nope, that's the other one.
That's the other one. Screen, hang on everybody. Good.
Yep.
So I want to thank Sarah, Will, and Navneet for an amazing job of bringing together this QPPS, this solution. And so what's the big so what? I always ask my team at the end of the day, why does anybody care about this? Why? What matters? And so for me, the real takeaways on this are a few. Number one, we all know that companies are moving to the world of recurring revenue models. Whether, as Navneet pointed out, it's a recurring model. Whether it's a recurring, we'll get to your question in a moment. Whether it's a recurring model, a consumption model, all of those are possible, and everybody is moving to those. And it's in some of the most interesting industries. There are SAP solutions to meet your needs, and they are powerful solutions. SAP continues to invest billions of dollars every year in the public cloud space, as well as the private cloud. But really, the power of this solution is it's in the public cloud. It can get up and running very quickly and easily, and it's not just vaporware. It has comprehensive functionality. We've seen everything with regard to the GL, how everything ties into your accounts receivable, your balance sheet, your P&L. We've proven it to work. Not only does this work at a customer site, but you actually saw the solution working as we've talked about it. And you saw that it's not just a demo that we canned for you in terms of running a video. This was a live demo in a live system. This live system can be yours and up and running, by the way, in as little as 3 months. The fact that it's public cloud-based makes it up and running. You get lots of updates, as we said, and on a SaaS model, it works with your budget. You can have this solution, as we advertise, in the baseline model for under 300,000 or under 400,000 in terms of implementation. The product itself is, can be as little as $150,000 to $200,000, depending on how many users, et cetera. And I think the last thing I want to walk away with, and then we'll address the question, is it's not just for net new. You can do this if you have an organization with multiple ERPs and you need a way to migrate an organization that either has a subscription model or simply needs a baseline ERP. SAP Public Cloud combined with SAP either on-prem, S/4HANA, or RISE is a great hybrid solution that's available to you to get the power of SAP running. We've extended that to include subscription models because that's what we do all day, every day. We work with companies like yours and big companies from 200 million to 200 billion, helping build this up. So let's take a look at the quick question here. Does subscription billing support usage-based? Yes. No limitations. Okay, what was the next? Where exactly are rates configured? That's a great question. You saw what Sarah was showing early on. The rates are configured. You can set up your own. As I said, it's designed to be a system that allows you to create subscriptions. If you want, we can follow up with you and show you where that is, but you can create those subscriptions and then manage those subscriptions and manage the life cycle of the customer. There's a specific spot that you create those subscriptions. All right. Any other questions out there? All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank again Sarah and the team for an awesome job. and for a great demo, Sarah. As always, that was amazing. And I want to thank all of you who attended this. And if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, please feel free to share them with us. Bramasol is your experts when it comes to quote to cash to compliance, particularly in and helping you take advantage of S/4HANA private and public cloud to build your business. Thank you again, and make it a great day.